What's going on, everybody? Tony Redgrave here, signing on for a vlog just for you guys. And for you guys, you'll know who I'm talking about in a minute. Today is, I don't fucking know, it's some day in May. But I've recently been checking my channel. It's kind of hard to talk, I'm not really sure what to say exactly. But I've been checking my channel, I'm seeing views, but nobody's subscribing or liking or disliking or sharing or anything. I mean, if you are, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. But I'm not seeing it on my phone, which is what I'm filming off of. But further to the point, the reason for this vlog, which is to talk about a new breed of gamer. I mean, let's think about it. When it comes to gamers, you got your Call of Duty, your multiplayer kind of gamers. You've got your MMO kind of gamers who play like World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2, which I really want to play after watching Angry Joe's review. And if you don't know who Angry Joe is, check him out. I'm pointing, even though I'm not going to have a link in the description because this is on my phone and I don't know how to do it yet. But we're talking about a new kind of gamer, and this kind of gamer is really what I am when it comes to being a gamer. And it's called a soloist. And I know what you're thinking, are like the guitar players the soloist? Well, not exactly. See, a soloist is someone who usually, this is for the RPG fans, and it's going to be very hard to hear me because of this damn thing over here. Fucking thing makes so much noise you can't hear shit. Which is why I'm going to move back over here. I just had to grab my smokes. Because if you don't know yet, I'm a smoker. Which I've been thinking about it, doing a review on cigarettes and cigars and all kinds of tobacco-based products, but that'll be for a different video. And just, there we go. Don't mind if I do, right? So anyway, being a soloist is basically someone who, whether you have internet or not, like whether you have Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, you're someone who tends to play games offline. I know that's hard for a lot of people to comprehend. Offline? Are you shitting me? Tony, what the fuck? Ugh. But you tend to play them offline, and they tend to be RPGs, although it can really be any game with any kind of story. Which is why, for my Dragon Age Inquisition video, I was very critical of it. For my rant on it, even though it's late as hell. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure if I said so, but if I had to give it a ranking, right off the top of my head, 3 or 4 at the best. I mean, because to be honest, it almost like it wasn't even Dragon Age. But once again, we're not talking about Dragon Age Inquisition. We're talking about being a soloist. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there. You play the games because you want to be entertained by the story. Not by how many kills you get and how many kill streaks or these awesome kill streaks. Not by swapping loot with people or going to the auction house to sell loot. But because you play mainly for the story. Which games, when they started, the story didn't matter. When RPGs first came out, it's why they were such a big hit, and it's why even now they've drawn such a following. But I digress. It's really, once again, about the story, and it's really for people who are similar to me. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but yeah, it's really for people who tend to, instead of hanging out with other people, they hang out with RPGs. I mean, hell, even now, and I'm 20 years old, I'll be 21 this year, 2015, this year in 2015, October 23rd, I don't even mind telling you that. But even now, sometimes I'll come up with these things in my head. Like, I'll have like a whole game's worth, a whole lifetime's worth of an ideal of like an awesome character, or like an awesome game, or something just really epic. Like, for instance, just to tell you about one of my little Soloist ideals for an RPG, how about a kind of Kingdoms of Amalur with a little bit more polish on the combat? Make it a little, sorry about the shake, I'm using my hand. With a little bit more smoother combat. I mean, Kingdoms of Amalur, awesome combat, but could have used a little bit of polish. A little bit more combo ability, so to speak. But I digress. Like I said, just a little bit more polish on my character. He'd be a fat guy like me. See? The fat man. That's what I am. And, well, he'd basically be me. I mean, he even has my name, Tony Carter, which is as close to my real name as I'm going to tell you. Then again, my last name in reality is Hancock. I'm working on getting it changed to Carter, though. Just as soon as I get the money. But it'd just be him, you know, fighting angels and demons. He'd be like the angel of death. And he'd be like just the baddest of asses, you know? He was like so badass that there's like a god who's like one of his buddies that can't even beat him, and there's like the archangel of the planet Earth who can't even beat him. I have stories for them too, but they've been in between getting lost in time and just I haven't been paying attention to them recently, because I mean that's how I live myself as. That's how I view myself, as a badass and a soloist. But other than just, like I said with the RPGs, when it comes to being a soloist, there's a few other things that you tend to do. Especially, these are kind of prevalent in multiplayer games. Like, if you're playing Call of Duty and you're a soloist, you tend to help the team out when you can, but you prefer to do things yourself. Like, in a way, it's not that you're not a team player, it's that you have your own ideals, and if you're not the leader, you're going to execute yours and the leader's ideals at the same time. But then again, we're talking about Call of Duty, which has literally no strategy to it whatsoever, unless you're like in the e-games area of it. But I'm going to end this video here, because if I keep on, I'll drone on, and if I drone on, things are going to go from being a soloist to just being outright bonkers. But this is Tony Redgrave signing off, and I'm hoping you all have a wonderful day.